everyone, it's time today for a bit of a bonus video. This was recorded a while back and I just now had a chance to actually sort of edit it and commentate on it. And today we are going to do a little bit more co-op stuff. Currently we are outside the lair of the Dragon Rider in Hade's Tower of Flame. So, we're going to lay down our summon sign and hope we get a bite to help somebody out. You can check your summon sign by examining it, and if you want, you can cancel it. It also gives you a nice little portrait of your character as they currently are. Now, of course, an intrinsic part of this process is waiting for a bite. So, while we're doing that, let's go through some of our inventory and look at some of our weapons and maybe use some stuff that we haven't so much yet. We used the halberd a bit in the latter part of the No Man's Wharf videos. Here's a more detailed look at what it can do. It's too heavy for us to one-hand, but its two-hand attacks are quite powerful, and they have a lot of reach to them. It should be noted, however, that the halberd has a minimum range. If you hit somebody with the stick that is attached to the blade, it won't do very much damage, so try and keep your distance. Sometime later, depending on your soul level and your soul memory and the time of day, who and what actually summons you can vary quite a bit. I believe on this day it was a fairly slow, like Thursday evening or something, so it took a little while to get some bites. Something about the Heal Miracle you may not know is that it and all of its variants have a slight AoE to them. So if you just pop in next to your partner and go ahead and use it, they will also be healed. So if you're into co-op, then it's a pretty good idea to at least invest in like just vanilla heal for 12 faith and just have a little thing to help your buddy with. The Dragon Rider is the Dragon Rider. He's not very difficult. Plopping down your summon sign is not a bad way to farm souls. It will also restore you to human and give you a token of fidelity, so it's definitely a profitable venture if you're patient. However, if you do it a lot, it can kind of mess up your soul memory, and you will eventually get out of the range for the area that you're in. Moving on a little bit, here we are at the Cathedral of Blue. Let's see if we can help some people out with the old Dragon Slayer. A significantly more difficult fight than the Dragon Rider. There's a really nice view of the area from the threshold of the Cathedral of Blue. This is, like I said before, one of my favorite designed areas in the entire game. I think it's really cool. Once more, heal pays some dividends, and we can talk this guy off before we go into the fight. He's wearing the knight set, which is like the elite knight set, but not so elite. Now, with 3 people, boss fights can get a little bit weird. Their targeting algorithms seem to get a little messed up when there's so many different targets on the screen. Unfortunately for us, I'm trying my damnedest to get this guy off of the host so that he doesn't die. But I cannot get his attention. And dies an embarrassing death. We get nothing, and a promising young undead was taken before his time. He was the greatest mind of our generation. Oh well. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Like I said before, depending on the area, the time of day, and any other number of factors, summoning can be very quick or it can take a while. Fortunately, this guy is at full health, so even though we're out of heals, we'll be fine. In the interest of making this fight successful, I decide to put some aromatic ooze on my spear. That essentially just applies some extra magic damage to it. It's a pretty nice buff. Now, this fight also demonstrates some of the weirdness that can happen in co-op. Lag. From our perspective, it looks like the old Dragon Slayer is just sort of flailing around. And from our perspective, it certainly didn't seem like we got hit by that. So from now on, I'm probably going to have my shield up more often than not. It's difficult to dodge attacks if they come, like, 3 to 5 seconds later than they should. You can also notice that he's sort of sliding around a little bit. Now, as opposed to our last host, who had a name that was simply unpronounceable, this guy has a name that is literally unknowable, so I guess we're just going to call him S. S's internet connection doesn't seem to be very strong, but fortunately we're able to take out the old Dragon Slayer before that becomes a problem. Gotta use that dual bow. It's required if you're in the Blue Sentinels. Speaking of which, I'm also going to take this opportunity to sort of demonstrate some of the things you can do in that covenant. Now, the primary purpose of the Blue Sentinels is to either use cracked blue-eye orbs to invade the worlds of the guilty, or to come to the aid of Way of Blue members when they're invaded. However, due to a variety of factors, this rarely works either way, at least until New Game Plus. So for now, we're sort of cordoned off into doing sparring matches. So let's go ahead and try one out. We've got a couple tokens of fidelity to spare. enter a sparring match, you come to a predetermined arena, one of 3, and you face off against your opponent in single combat. This guy has a very odd-looking sword, but since we're both members of the Blue Sentinels, it's best to be honorable and give him a bow. Oh, God. Alright, so this is one of the flaws with the arena system. Matchmaking is not particularly good. Our backstab did about 300 damage to him. That was not a fight that we could realistically win. He is much farther ahead in the game than we are. And such is the experience of low-level arena. It's kind of a crapshoot. That should do it for today. Hopefully we will explore some more co-op and multiplayer stuff later. But for now, let's head back to our main quest. I'll talk to you guys later.